So it happens to us all. We get used to a hairstyle or a hair color, and even if we don't love it, we keep it because change is hard, and that's a cycle that can last years. But that all changes today. You asked for help breaking out of a hair rut, and Studio 5 style and beauty contributor Megan Moore is flexing years of expertise to help 5, I'm going to call them lucky viewers. Hey, Megan.
Hello.
Are you as excited as I am?
Yeah, this is fun. This is like Sherlock Holmes for, for hairstylists.
This is the hair hotline, and as we were promoting it last week and talking about it, letting people know this opportunity was on the table, you're so good at this. Like, you can see a woman's best, and I truly think it's a gift. And then the way you articulate how to bring out that best is a talent you've developed.
Oh,
so I mean it. We're very lucky. We asked viewers to send in their hair questions. You had plenty to choose from.
Yes, it was fun.
These included the full range, and let's just set up your hair expertise for a minute because you know your stuff.
Well, thanks. This will date me a little bit, but I have been licensed for 20 years.
You've been doing it.
So long time, so I love to help with solutions.
We're gonna jump in. Let's see how many we can get to. First up, Karen Olson. Karen said this: I never know what to do with my hair. It's thin and it's fine. I'm also 72 and I don't want to feel like a, quote, old lady. Should I cut it shorter? If I try to grow it out, I always go back to a cut because it is so fine and wispy on the ends. And she adds, should I do an overall color? Right now, she's just experimenting with highlights. Pretty face, good hair shape, right? I think, too.
She's gorgeous.
What's your advice?
Okay, so when somebody says to me, I don't want to look like an old lady, my first response is, typically, we start to feel a little older when our styles become very rounded under.
Okay.
So if we can style it with a little bit of a straighter end, it's going to look more youthful.
So it's not necessarily the length, because I think old lady, I think shorter.
Yeah, she could certainly go shorter because her hair is very fine. And on my example picture, that woman has definitely thicker hair. But what I wanted to show is how she styled it straighter, it becomes more youthful, right? So instead of something so rounded under, I would love Karen to still give volume at the roots, but a straighter finish is going to just overall make her feel sassier, younger, and fresher.
Okay, you say sassy. What's the fine line between going a little straighter and not looking edgy or hard?
Well, I would say you still, I probably wouldn't want anything vertical, right? I wouldn't want to do like kind of spikies and vertical, but just a finish that doesn't kind of round under at the end. This becomes very kind of like feels a little bit older finish.
A little dated.
So just a little bit straighter can make a big difference. So she doesn't need a drastic change, but just a little tweak would make a big difference.
That's a styling change, actually.
Yeah.
That's as easy as it comes. Karen, hopefully that helps in color. What would you recommend for color?
I would say still stick with the highlights.
She looks great.
She looks great because then your maintenance won't go up. We want to make life easier.
Isn't that fun to hear? Just a little change on the end and you're good to go. Karen, thank you for letting us learn along. I think a lot of women can relate to her questions. All right, viewer Stephanie James said this: help me out, Megan. Cut, color, I just need help. And she wrapped it up by saying, I'm feeling a little frumpy. Again, so many women can relate. She's got a good head of hair, this girl.
She does have a good head of hair. But when somebody says to me, I feel frumpy, it comes down to one thing.
What?
They don't have a distinguishable attribute, something that you could describe them as. So like, oh, you know her, she has like those really cute blonde bangs, right? Something that's distinguished that you can describe her.
Okay.
If you're lacking that and your hair is kind of hard to describe, it's just kind of blah, you're gonna feel frumpy. So pick something that's gonna give you a distinguishing factor. In this case, I would say color. She's got this beautiful thick hair, but warming that color up and even going into this kind of cowboy copper. It's so big right now.
Cowboy copper?
Yes, cowboy copper. It's kind of that penny copper color. It's almost on the blonde, like a light blondish, but it just gives her the richness. And look, she's got, you can tell, she's got the personality to be a redhead.
I agree.
So give her some warmth, give her something distinguishable, and then she won't feel frumpy anymore.
Yeehaw, Stephanie. Cowboy copper. She does have great hair. I'm jealous. I'm jealous. All right, Allison Hughes said, my current solution is to not knowing what to do with my hair is to just let it keep growing. But I'd love some guidance for a new look. What would you say to Allison? Okay,
I picked her specifically because of her hairline. So if you look at her forehead and her hairline, she's got hair that kind of grows backwards and it kind of grows away from the face. So what this tells me is she is not a good candidate for bangs or too much layering around the face. So what that does is that just eliminates those out of our realm, which is fine because then we don't have like the confusion of picking things.
Because why? She'd be fighting against it?
She would be fighting against it.
Okay.
This is very, very common. So what I looked for was another model that had a similar hairline, and she's actually used that to her advantage to make that part of her style, giving her that big, beautiful kind of openness around the face, and then just a little bit of a richer color. But it totally works with her hairline, and it just needs a little bit of tweaking, and she's almost there.
This is so fun. This conversation is so fun to see these beautiful women, and they're so wonderful to let us learn along because, again, all of these are so relatable. I'm like
Yes.
nodding my head to every one. But to see your genius in action,
Thanks.
and I love that you're not saying overhaul. You're not saying cut 7 inches.
No, it doesn't have to be drastic. It just needs to be tweaked for you individually.
Yeah, work with what you've got. Okay,
Yep.
time for one more before break. This is Sarah. She said, my hair is so thick and curly underneath, but it's dry, and I swear conditioner doesn't work. I just had it colored, but I feel like it's too light. I also need help to know what styles would work best for me. Sarah, Megan's got you. What do you say?
Okay, when somebody says to me conditioner doesn't work, that means they have used products like for curly hair that have too much oil in them. They have a coating on their hair, and so now no water can absorb into your hair. So the biggest thing for her is she needs to be purifying her hair to get rid of that coating so that the moisture in these products can actually absorb.
Get rid of the barrier.
Yeah, right now it's not. And so what you get with that is that frizz that she's talking about. So again, going for a softer color. I agree with her that the highlights went too bright. So softening that back down, a subtle low light or a subtle highlight can mean just be so impactful. And then going for a rounder cut so that you've got more layers, more movement through the top. But the biggest thing for her will be learning how to treat those curls with more moisture. And it's the opposite of what you think. People think more oil, more oil, more oil, but that's actually coating the hair and causing problems. So she's got to kind of undo some of that to get back to those healthy curls.
You're so good. You're so good. All right, we are Michelle. Viewer Michelle is turning 37 this year. She hasn't changed her style in years. She tends to wear her hair straight, but she'd like to wear it curly. She also called out her own self-described larger forehead that she hides behind bangs, and she's wondering if there's a better way to style them. What do you think for Michelle?
Okay, so with her hair, you can see on the ends, it's very, very fine. And the biggest thing here, I would say, is to cheat that and make it look thicker, a blunt perimeter is going to be your best friend. So that means not a lot of layering. We want everything to kind of hit the same length, which is going to give her the illusion of a thicker hair. So that's number one. As far as the bangs go, I have no problem with the bangs. A side bang is actually, they're so cute, and side bang is actually coming back in. I would just say maybe sweep it across the forehead a little bit lower. But I'd also say people that say, oh my gosh, my forehead is so big, only you see that in yourself. So nobody else says that about you. But yeah, I love a blunt kind of chopped bob hair with that thick perimeter on the bottom. It's just going to make her look so much thicker, and it's just going to be perfect for her with that side part already.
This was fun. Can we do this again?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. In the meantime, how can people get advice like this from you?
Oh, come over and find me on Instagram at BeautySnoop or on my blog, thebeautysnoop.com.
And your salon.
Oh, and my salon, More Hair Design.